On November 2nd, I went over for a rut hunt in Wisconsin. And that was only my second sit in Wisconsin. Dylan and I sat there about 10 days earlier, a week earlier. But we really try to let the buck get into that area and just pop in and typically shoot one within the first couple sits. And so I have to back up a little bit though. In Minnesota, and we hunt Minnesota and Wisconsin. Can't wait to get over to Wisconsin, but we have some older bucks, ones that we have typically a year more of history with over here because they're a year older that we're targeting or more in Minnesota. And LL Beams has been a targeted buck of mine. And last Wednesday, I shot and I wounded LL Beams. Felt sick about it. We looked for 2 days for him. And in various ways, we were out in the woods, we listened for crows, everything. And I felt sick enough about it that I didn't tell a lot of people this. I had friends, how's the hunt going? A friend of mine, Brian Lenneman, how you doing with the hunt? How things going? And I didn't tell a lot of people that I wounded him because I just felt sick. And so shot him Wednesday evening, looked Thursday, Friday. Saturday morning, it was a beautiful prime time day. A lot of the weather had rolled through. I shot him right before a thunderstorm, lightning, thunder, everything. Dylan came out and looked. I mean, Dylan, you were here for the day. I felt bad. Wes looked with Jen, and Jen, of course, but Wes was there. Dylan, I felt bad for both of them because they missed hunts that day. So, and I know they say everything that's okay, but I feel bad. It was, in that case, Halloween or November 1st when we looked the second day. So I went out and sat with Jen on Saturday morning. I didn't feel like going hunting still. So when I was sitting with Jen on Saturday the 2nd, a neighbor texted me pictures of LL Beams. And that he was alive and he was in a water hole just the night before. And he told me a little story about him, where he thought he was bedded and he was going to go try to hunt him. He ended up running away that night, didn't get him, all that kind of stuff. But bottom line is, my arrow hit in that no man's land, that no man's zone, kind of that spot just on top of the lungs and below the spine. And I look at it and I think, me being in a tree stand and shooting down on that buck, I just don't know how I didn't get 2 lungs. But I didn't. And you can see the shot. It made me feel a little bit better about the shot. It wasn't a good shot. Obviously, didn't kill him. But at the same time, it wasn't, wild on the deer somewhere. I made a good shot on him. And it was really tough. And so after I felt a piece of that, knew the winds weren't good for hunting there, I went straight over to Wisconsin. And we're after peak rut hunting. It's a time where anything can happen. It's a beautiful day. The weather had broken. It was actually in the 50s. But when you have bad weather and then it breaks, man, what a time to be out in the woods, let alone the cold front that went along with it. So I was headed up to a stand. We had the Crabclaw 10. We had this split sticker buck type thing. We had a 9-point, heavy 9-point. It was hard to tell some of those apart. And you'd think the Crabclaw 10 was a 9-point sometimes. We had another one that was a younger one. We have a couple 3-year-olds that look really nice over there for the future, but really, like I said, we're targeting 4-year-old bucks over there. And so the stage was set for a great afternoon sit and getting on them. And it was a half-hour walk up to the stand, and it was worth it. Check out this hunt. I'm just about ready to head up the hill in Coon Valley, and there's really 2 shooters that have developed over here. You never know throughout the year because they all show up in mid-October, which is perfect. A couple at the end of September. One's a low wide. He's got a split G2 on the left side, split brow tine on the left, and then the other one's just a big heavy 9-point. Really cool sweeping beams and heavy, and they're both at least 4. And over here it's a little bit different than Minnesota. Although there's some big chunks next to us, they're not as managed as the ones in Minnesota. So by us, we can really target 5-year-old plus. Over here it's more 4-year-old plus. So you just lower your expectations and come over here, but age-wise anyways. So it's kind of like when you go to Pennsylvania public land, my expectations are a little lower out there even. So I really enjoy hunting, so it doesn't really matter. So right now I'm hunting a water hole on the outside of a bedding area. And a lot of the deer come through that water hole. They could be cruising, but then they're going to a neighboring food source or coming down to ours. So it's right in that sweet spot where you blow our scent off a cliff, have the perfect southeast winds for it. and I could sneak in. And I have another stand up there for southeast winds too. So I get in there and I spook something getting in or whatever. I'll switch stands. You just have to move over about 400 yards. So either way, can't wait to get up there. Sitting in the oak stand, which I love to sit in. A really nice family tradition ladder stand, comfy, and I'm ready for a long afternoon sit. I get to this point, I always figure about 40% of the way up, not quite half. But I have to go through a really steep section to get to this point. So the steepest of the climb, other than a little bit up to the stand, but that's a little bit different. But other than that, made it so far, no deer. The way I go in is more direct and steep when I go in the daylight. Deer bed just around in the hollow to my left. So although we'll go in there in the dark hours, like tonight when I get out, I'll go that way. During the daylight, I go this way. So that's pretty common on a lot of properties that I manage, in our property certainly, because it's pretty common to go in one way during daylight or dark and then go out the opposite way. Always just trying to go where the deer aren't. So they do cruise right through here. The wind's actually good for this sit in the gilly tonight, and we have a blind up there, stand over there. We love this because you can see over 100 yards up the trail. For a good gunshot, but then everything pinches down right here too, so it's good for bow. But I'm gonna keep trucking up that hill. Every step is uphill for 450 feet in elevation, 400 feet right around there, and this stand usually takes about 30 minutes, 35 minutes to get to. We have one up there that I go in a different way, again avoiding the deer up at the top, and that takes me about 45 minutes. So depending on which one you go in. And these are here, obviously about 15-20 minutes. Anyway, you look at it, it's work. But good work, fun work. It's one of my favorite stands in Wisconsin where I hunt. It's just you're right on the edge of a thick drop off over to my right, and it's conifer. So you have a good backdrop for one thing, and they do sneak through there close to the stand. But then up on my left here, I have a water hole. We have another stand on the other side for morning winds, different wind direction that Dylan and I sat in about 8 days ago, and then that's it for me in Wisconsin here. This is my second sit here in Wisconsin. Again, the big bedding area is just past the water hole. Like I wouldn't even want to get into that other stand because you're starting to be on the other edge. Or climbing up, you make one little noise, or if there's deer bedded close, you can clear out that hollow. It's a small hollow. I don't know if it's 8 to 10 acres, 15 acres. There's rocks, real steep terrain. Some conifer around the front side, but it's great bedding. When I got up here, I did see one deer chasing out in front of me about 100, maybe 150 yards. But other than that, it didn't spook anything, so that's always a good thing. But I'm on this water hole. You can tell the water, they hit it so often, it's already down. We filled it maybe about a week and a half ago, but it's already down a good 6 to 8 inches. So going down fast. We've had one rain, and then it's been super dry outside of that, and that was one rain in 2 months. Anyways, I like to stand. The only thing is they can come up from behind me, either on the left, down that way, or over on my right. You can see how steep and thick that is down there. And you really don't want to move much when they're going to do so, because they can pick you out. Even though it's a big tree, you can see the hole come in. It's a big, massive tree, so pretty cool spot. I'm up here all the way. Did pretty good. Only took 3 breaks getting up here. I was sick last year during opening day. I'd gone in about 3 weeks time frame, Saturday before Thanksgiving, and it took me eight breaks to get up here. So 3 breaks isn't too bad, but still have some work to do. My sit didn't last more than an hour. I just shot the big Crabclaw 10. The neighbor thinks he's the one I passed up last year, but either way, when I saw his body coming, I'm like, oh man, that's a big buck. And he started coming right at me, and he went by one reveal trail camera, and I had my reveal trail camera in the stand with me, and so I was able to get that going on a 30-second video. But I got him, and he came in, he gave me like, you know, oh man, I feel so good. I messed up with LO Beams in Minnesota, and I didn't even want to hunt since Wednesday. It's Saturday afternoon. So the first time I hunted was this afternoon, and I found out LO Beams is still alive and made me want to go out. I just thought he was dead, rotten out there somewhere, and it just made me sick. I didn't even want to go hunt in Wisconsin, let alone Minnesota. So I come over here and have this happen. It's just came out of the bedding area, was going to the water hole. Right here, was able to stop him at like 17, 18 yards. And I just saw the blood pouring out. I heard him crash. He's got to be down. He's got to be down, man. I got to calm down a little bit. Jen's going to come over at some point. She's going to drop the kids off and come up here and help me retrieve them. So, man, really, really fortunate and blessed to have that happen. He was tall. He was big, big body. Really cool, mature buck. I'm just kind of still sitting in the stand here about a half hour later. I'm just soaking it in. And gone. I'm pretty sure I heard him crash, but he was just pouring out blood. Shot looked really super good, and he had blood trail. I'm sure there's blood right there within 5-10 feet from where I shot him, just pouring. So I might get down and look over there. I'm just waiting for Jen to come. She's going to be here about another hour and 20 minutes or so. And it's always nice to get a ride out. These better when it's downhill to go in, and then you get a ride uphill to get out. But still, it's gonna be cool. I can't wait to see her and have her show off. Still sitting here waiting on Jen, and she had to drop kids off and get over here. It's about a 50-minute ride to begin with, but dropping the kids off took a little bit longer, and she'll be here in about a half hour. But I've had 4 other bucks walk by, does. None have known I was here, which is awesome. The winds are perfect for this stand setup. But man, I can't wait to go look at him. Oh my gosh. Look at that. Well, we see him. He didn't go far at all. He's just going straight downhill and crash. Yeah, it's a lot of blood. Really, really good blood trail. He didn't go very far. He just went straight downhill. I'm hoping not too bad getting him out of here. Yeah, I mean, November 2nd, it was pretty cool. My Wisconsin hunt, Dylan and I came and hunted the stand that's on the other side of the water hole about 8-10 days ago, and this is my second hunt in Wisconsin. So it lasted about 45 minutes, and couldn't have drawn it up any better. And now my tag's done in Wisconsin, so I'll go back and concentrate on Minnesota. And really cool buck. Got some stuff going on down the bases here. He's got a ripped ear back here. I had 7 other bucks come through after him, and he was the biggest, so that was a good thing too. But yeah, couldn't be happier with him. Now let's get him out of the woods. It's for Dylan. You ready? Cheers. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. You're our best followers. You followed all the way to the end of the video. Really invite you to check out our website. We have our Earthway spreaders for sale. Great Christmas presents. We're booking clients right now, all 5 of us. So by the end of December, it seems early, but by the end of December, our schedule will be booked for 2025. It's hard to believe. I'm already booked for December and most of January, February. We have our web classes, the Rut web class, how to design your whitetail property, and really important, hunting hills and thermals, understanding the wind. Those are great products on our site, all the books. Thank you so much for watching all the videos, buying the seed that you did this year. Really appreciate you.